Hello, beautiful creative friends, it's Belinda, and today I am excited and honestly a little bit nervous to be sharing an entirely new type of video for me. This is my very first vlog. I've really only recently built up the confidence to put my face on camera, so this has really pushed me outside of my comfort zone. And branching out into new kinds of content, it is really exciting. But it also comes with a pretty steep learning curve, and I'm never really sure quite how well it's going to land. But coming back to creating and sharing content after such a big break has really been lovely, and I have so enjoyed reconnecting with my existing followers and also connecting with new followers and a new audience at the same time. I've had to work really hard to face my all or nothing tendencies in this space and try and find a line or a balance between the things that I would love to do and the things that I would love to be creating and sharing, and the things that I can actually do, working around my own capacity limits and the commitments that I have to my family and to my kids and to other things that are going on in my life. I also just want to take a moment to acknowledge how much your support has really meant to me. So many of you have reached out to share your stories with me, and it's reminded me of the real value of connection and shared experiences. And so with that, I thought I'd start by showing you a little glimpse of what winter has been like here in my corner of the world. Winter in Perth often looks like this, sunny and cool, but not too cold. And for my friends in colder climates, I'm sure it looks like an absolutely blissful winter's day. This year, for the first time in a long while, we had so many days that looked like this. I often joke that I must be part wolf because of how awfully my body responds to the heat. So for me, these cold and wet days are pure bliss. We even hit a 50-year record for Perth's coldest day this year, and I was absolutely loving it. It's been such a welcome contrast to the increasingly long and hot summers that we've been having. But unfortunately, all of the sunny days seemed to fall during the week while the kids were at school, and the wet and rainy days landed on the weekends when everyone was at home. So we've spent a lot of time indoors, navigating different and often conflicting needs. I've got one child who thrives in that cozy indoor environment, and another who just desperately needs movement and stimulation. Managing everybody's sensory needs has often meant that my creative energy has been redirected just to keeping the peace to help us coexist without losing our minds. And that brings me to the heart of today's update, this shift that's been happening for me and some big news that I've been wanting to share. The main reason that I decided to create a vlog style video was that I feel like I need to address the elephant in the room. By the time this video goes up, you may have seen over on Instagram, I made an announcement that I have joined the design team for the Hip Kit Club. And my first video, my first project with them will be going up within the next week or so. Now, I am very aware of the irony of me saying that out loud after everything that I shared on my Creative Shift series. And I've spent weeks talking about burnout and design team commitments. So I understand that this announcement might feel a little bit disingenuous or surprising. So in the interest of honesty and authenticity, I wanted to talk a little bit about this decision. This opportunity found me. I didn't go seeking it out. Hip Kit Club reached out to me following the shift that I have been making in my content towards honesty and connection. It's a brand that I have used and loved for years. I've happily spent my own money on their kits, and I'd continue to do so whether or not I was on their design team. So these are products that are already showing up in my creating and in the content that I share. And honestly, the expectations of the design team compared with what I receive in return from the Hip Kit Club, it feels much more balanced than what I have experienced on other design teams. It feels more aligned to where I am right now. The Hip Kit Club has always been committed to transparency and authenticity with their customers. They're really focused on building connection and community in really thoughtful ways, and I'm going to come back to that a little bit later. But even before this opportunity presented itself, the ideas and planning that I was working on for my content already included working with their kits and products. So saying yes to this, it really just felt like a natural extension of where I was already headed. And of course, shortly after I said yes, my first big box of design team goodies arrived in the mail. I have just had this delivered. It is the box containing my first kit of goodies from the Hip Kit Club. So I thought it might be fun to do a little unboxing here. I'm going to just open it up now, but before I go through it, I'm just going to take everything out of the packaging to do a little flip through of what's inside. Okay, here is everything out of the box that it was shipped in. I apologise, there is a bit of reflection going on here. It's from my filming lights, and that's just because it's still a little bit dark and dicey outside, so I do need to rely on these lights so that the video is bright enough. I'll start here. So I was really pleasantly surprised when I opened the box to find a few unexpected little additions that Kimberly had put in, which I am super grateful for. This is a little heart and star confetti die, and if you've watched any of my content before, you'll know how much I really love these little sprinkly stars and hearts on so many of my projects, particularly when they're cut from glitter cardstock. So I think that's going to be kept really close by because I can definitely see myself reaching for that one a lot. There's also this balloon metal die, which I believe is from the July kits. And I already have in mind what I'm going to use, the project that I'm going to use this one on. We've got this really cool postage frame set die. I'm not sure, these may be from the July kits. I'll have to go and double check on the website. But lots of different shapes of postage stamp metal dies here. That's a really, I've noticed it's a really big trend in card making and even scrapbooking at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to have fun coming up with some ideas to play around with these. I think it'd be really good for a grid designed layout. So watch this space there. And this one, a 3x4 journaling card and envelope die set. So this, you also may know if you've watched any of my content that I'm a big fan of hidden journaling. So I can definitely see myself using something like this on all kinds of projects, traveler's notebooks, project life, and just my traditional layouts and mini albums to hide some journaling or even some ephemera. So really grateful that those extras were thrown into my kit. I will definitely be making use of those. So let's dive in. This is the August kits here. Surprisingly, they got to me really, really quickly. I am literally on the other side of the world. So they got to me in about a week, which was super fast shipping there. So I'll start with this. This is the color kit. And like I said, I have pulled it out of all of the packaging, so it didn't come loose like this. The color kit this month has got this stencil, a wave pattern stencil, which is going to be perfect for any kind of water, summer, beach themed layouts. I can also see it being used as just a bit of like an abstract background. So that's really going to be really fun. Now there are 3 distress embossing glazes. We've got Kitsch Flamingo, Dried Marigold, and Broken China. I love the colors. I've never actually seen these or used these before, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of research to find out how they work. Whether they are just the same as embossing powders or if they work a little bit differently. So I'm going to have to find out how to use those and then try and incorporate those into some projects. I do have a couple of ideas already for what I want to do with this kit. I just need to get a little bit more information about the requirements for what I need to create for the design team, because it's happened very quickly and it is very, very new. I'm going to go through those ones at the end, I think, because those are add-on products. This here is the Pocket Life kit. So in the Pocket Life kit, you get a stamp and you get a stack of 6x8 papers. They've always got these two cut apart sheets. They are double-sided cut apart sheets, so just the same designs on the back and front. There are coordinating dies that go with some of these. I have 2 of the coordinating dies because I was subscribed to the Hip Kit for quite a few years. So I do actually have the dies that coordinate with these, but if you don't have the dies that coordinate with them, you can hand cut them. You can use some circle punches. You can probably, and this is something that I've been meaning to try, you can probably even try and do a scan and cut if you've got an electronic cutting machine. This one here is using the die set that I don't currently have. There are 3 sets, but these are really basic shapes, so I can see I'm going to have no problems cutting those out. I won't go through, and another cut apart sheet. That's new to me. I haven't seen one like this before. So this is obviously very summer themed. That's just single-sided there. That's going to be one to fussy cut while I'm watching TV, I think. I won't go through all of these sheets of paper because there are flip throughs already up on the Hip Kit Club YouTube channel, and I'll add a link to that below if you want to see the products up close. But it's a really bright, fun, summery, sort of water-themed collection. I love, love, love the colours in this. And these papers are super thick. I love the quality of the papers and the cards that come from Hip Kit. That's one of the reasons why I was subscribed to them for so long. And then the stamp set we've got here, some really nice summer themed stamps. On the back, we have just the copy of the stamps, but in actual fact, on the website, in the kits by the month, if you go and have a look at the stamp set, the listing for the stamp set individually, they have created some sample stamps. In fact, I'm going to go and print that out and show you now. Okay, so here it is. I've just saved the image from the product listing on the website. And as you can see, so it's got an image of the actual stamp set, and then there is a whole collection of different combinations of the stamp set, which I personally find really, really helpful and really inspiring. I love stamp sets. I love layering stamp sets. It's just not something that comes super naturally to me. So having all of these examples, particularly with things like this little sort of strip here, having an example that shows you how you can layer it up in different colors, I love that. So what I have done in the past with these stamp sets is I have gone and downloaded those. I've cut off the part that's got the actual stamp. So I've just got a little sample sheet here, and then I have just tucked that into the packaging behind my stamp set. So then when it comes time for me to work with this kit, I've got some really great examples of how to use that stamp set. I really love that those are available. I think that is such a great add-on in value for these kind of stamps. Okay, so this part here is the main kit. This is the main kit with the 12 by 12 paper pack here. So again, I'm not going to go through all of the bits and pieces here because there are flip throughs available on the website, and I don't want to spend this entire vlog flipping through these products. But just quickly, we've got some cardstock die cuts. I can see some tickets in there, some tabs, some tags, and then on the back you've just got the image of what's in there. We've got these epoxy stickers. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but they've got a little bit of a glitter in them, a bit of an iridescent glitter, so they're really pretty and going to be fun to work with. We have some cardstock die cuts. These are shapes. The first one was tags and labels. This is shapes. So on the back, you can see we've got some really fun summery themed die cut pieces in there. Chipboard die cuts. These are fantastic. I love these. We've got lots of frames, some embellishments, some titles, some words, some arrows. But what I really, really appreciate about these chipboard pieces from KitKit is that they are not super thick. So again, you're probably going to have a hard time seeing that here on camera, but they're really quite thin chipboard, which if you've watched any of my recent content, you will know that I talk about dimension and bulk a lot. It's something I'm trying to reduce in the pages that I make. So when I can get chipboard, because I love chipboard, that's not too thick and that I don't have to try and pull layers off, that works really well for me. So some really fun chipboard pieces there. We have got some cardstock stickers. Now, I think there are actually a few sheets in here. Let me just open this package. I think for memory, we've got a few sheets. So we've got some icons and images here. We've got some florals and some foliage. These are also nice. They are stickers, but they're not super thin stickers, so they've got a little bit of weight behind them, which is nice. Then we've got some titles, a few more smaller icons, and some word phrase strips, which again, I love. I love the word phrase strips in my projects. We have foam cardstock stickers in a really fun blue. I like the size of these. The letters aren't too big, so they're going to be quite versatile to use. The foam on them is a little thick, but I think I can live with that for a title element. So those are the cardstock alphabets. Sorry, the foam and cardstock alphabet stickers. Then we've got some puffy shapes. Just looking at this, I love the ombre, the gradient here, the way that they've laid those out. But yeah, lots of, there's a beachy themed, sea themed ones. So really fun. Oh, look at that cherry cola. I love it. That's so me. Some puffy stickers there. And now we get to the paper packs. Now I've got 2 packs here, which when I was subscribed to HitKit, I always bought the second set of patterned paper and quite often bought the cardstock as well. That's because you've got 12 sheets here. They are all double-sided and there are 12 designs. So me being me, I really just needed to have at least 2 sheets of each design because I could never really tell when I would be wanting to use one side or the other. So I'm super happy to have 2 of those. I'll just do a quick flip through of these. That's beautiful. I love that pattern. Really, really nice there. Quick flip through. We've got some pineapples and pinks. That's a really nice oceany themed one. Some turtles, some seashells, a nice neutral pattern. And I do find that they tend to alternate between like a busier A side and then a more neutral B side, which is really, really handy. We've got some palm trees, a little shell design, some more big, bright tropical leaves, and there's that wavy pattern in pink. Yeah, I love that just as an abstract design, not necessarily as a water theme. A nice frame that could be fun to work with. And, oh, that's pretty. It's like bubbles. Really good for some underwater themed stuff. Some wavy patterns there in the blue. And those are some little beach towels. That's really cute. A nice ombre sort of color block. I do love using these with cut files, believe it or not. And a little Art Deco-ish seashell pattern. Some really nice tropical florals. This would be great to fussy cut some of these out and use as like bigger floral pieces. And a sort of an abstract yellow stripe. And this is pretty. I like this. This is different. And then some little fishies on the back. So that's the pattern papers. And as I said, I've got 2 of those. So that is fantastic. And then the last thing that was in my kit, sorry, I should say in the actual kit itself, you would only get 1 pack of the 12 by 12 pattern papers. The second pack is available to purchase as an add-on. And then this is another one of the add-ons. This is a cardstock So these are printed. They're not textured cardstocks. These are printed cardstocks, but as you can see, they've got a texture print on one side. So what you will get is each month they're a little bit different. Each month the colours coordinate with the colours in the kit. So on one side you'll get a printed texture pattern, and then on the other side, this is what changes every month. So this month, the B side is an ombre pattern. So you can see we've got some beautiful ombre, and then they've got the little polka dots in there. It's reminding me of the Basil polka dot papers that you used to get. And then you get 2 of each colour, and in total there are 16 sheets there. So these are super versatile, not just to use with the hip kits, but also just in other projects as well, and I definitely make use of those in other projects. And then the last little thing that was included is another add-on, or 2 add-ons for the month of August. First is this metal die set. It's got the word summer and then some little summery icons. We've got we call them thongs here, but I know that's a bit of a taboo word. Flip-flops, thongs, whatever you call them in the part of the world that you're in. So that's super cute. I've got a really fun idea for this summer title already. And then this is another add-on. This is a stamp and die set. So it's got lots of drinks, different glasses, which you can then fill in with the stamps and then cut them out with the metal dies. Now, I love stamp sets that come with coordinating dies because I don't like fussy cutting. So if I can have a stamp set that comes with a die, I will 100% prefer that over a stamp set that comes on its own that I have to fussy cut out. And then on the back, you can see they've got some really nice sort of sample images of how they look when they are stamped. So that's my first little package of goodies from Hip Kit. I can't wait to get stuck in to creating with these. Unboxing those kits, I think, is never not going to be an enjoyable experience. My husband and probably my kids can attest to the ritual that I sort of established when my new kits from Hip Kit arrived, when I was a subscriber to them. It would arrive during the day, I would put it away in the theatre, and it would wait until the kids were in bed and I had some time to myself, and then I would just sit and pour through all of those lovely, fresh, exciting supplies. It was a little bit of a joyful ritual to me, and it still is. But I also do think it's important for me to take a step back and just speak honestly for a moment about my decision to join this design team, why I said yes and why it feels different, and how I'm going to be approaching it a little bit differently this time. Look, the potential for burnout hasn't magically disappeared just because I understand myself better. I understand the causes of burnout, both in my personal life and creativity. Those things haven't magically gone away, and it is still a real consideration for me. But what feels different about this design team this time? There's a couple of things. There's more flexibility in what I can choose to create. The nature of these products, the nature of this team means that I'm free to create things that work within my limits and work within my capacity. So I'm not sort of really directed towards creating one particular type of project in one particular type of style. So there's a real freedom in that I think is important for me personally and also creatively. And in the interest of full transparency, the compensation here makes this opportunity far more appealing, not just in terms of receiving products every month, but also the ability to earn a little as an affiliate. I'm also really excited about the direction that the Hip Kit Club is moving in and being a part of that. It feels less one-sided than some of my past design team experiences, and it feels more like a symbiotic relationship where they are promoting and supporting us as much as we are promoting and supporting them. So to protect my creativity this time, I'm really leaning on the things that I have learned about my own fluctuating capacity. And I'll be using the systems and the structures that I know help to keep me grounded. At the end of the day, I really hope that you can see this as a choice for me to align myself with a brand that I really do value, and also to recognize that the financial side of this is also a way of keeping me creating and sharing content. And part of why I felt comfortable saying yes is because of what Hip Kit Club themselves bring to the table and the way that they are working to build connection and community. And what drew me towards the Hip Kit Club in the first place as a subscriber was their products. The quality and the consistency has always been really, really great. And I love the variety of not just product types, but the variety of designs that come and the themes that come in their kits. I think in the 2 to 3 years that I was subscribed, there was only one kit that didn't really work for me, but I was still able to find ways to make it work. So the kits always feel really fresh and really usable, really practical, which is something that is important for me when I am choosing where to spend my money on these kind of scrapbooking products. Now, being in Australia, shipping costs can get really prohibitive. We know that a large portion of products that we purchase internationally are coming out of the US, and after COVID, shipping just got bonkers, and shipping rates have just steadily increased since then. So over time, I think a lot of us have had to really consider where we are spending our money and what the value is that we are getting in return. And particularly for internationals, shipping is a big part of that consideration. Again, one of the reasons that I kept coming back to HipKit as a monthly subscriber was that they offer a bi-monthly shipping option. And what this means is that you can actually bundle 2 months worth of kits together for the cost of shipping one kit per month. So it's basically halving the cost of shipping. Of course, then you do have a little bit of FOMO going on, waiting for your kits. So you're only receiving a package every 2 months. But when you add that up with the fact that you can bundle additional items from the shop with your kits before they ship, it actually means that that shipping cost becomes really, really reasonable. So I'm talking like you can have 5 or 6 kilos worth of products delivered in your kit every 2 months at a rate that's actually pretty reasonable. And I think that is that's a really good thing from the Hip Kit Club. And I'm really grateful that they have been able to maintain that even throughout the global economic and trade turmoil that has been going on recently. And their approach also feels different from other brands that I've interacted with. At the Hip Kit Club, they are deeply committed to producing high quality products in what is honestly what feels like a dwindling industry. They've always been really upfront and transparent with their customers, even in the middle of, tricky global trade and economic conditions. And that honesty is something that really matters to me as a consumer. Another thing that excites me is that they are in the process of moving away from relying on traditional social media platforms, and they have just opened up a new community on a platform called School, and I will share that link down in my description box below in case you would like to check that out, and I really encourage you to do that. Like so many of you, I've stayed on Facebook and Instagram because that's where the creative community has been, that's where the connections are. But those spaces also come with a lot of distractions, and that really genuine sense of connection has dropped off. This new community from the Hip Kit Club is open to everybody. It's not just for subscribers, and it really does feel like a welcoming and inspiring space for creatives and crafters, without the negative pull of doom scrolling. So I'm really looking forward to being a part of that and sharing more about it in the future. And also the way that their kits fit into my process just makes sense to me. Over time, I've learned that I really work best when I focus on one collection or one kit at a time, using a system and a structure that helps me to get the most out of it. That's something I'm really hoping to be sharing more about in future videos. But speaking of working with new products, I thought I might give one of the items in this kit a little test run. So in the unboxing of this kit, I mentioned that the embossing glazes, the Tim Holtz embossing glazes, were a product that was entirely new for me and that I was looking forward to having a little bit of a play with them. I had originally intended on sharing the full little play session here in this video, but I can see that it's already getting a little bit long. So instead, here's just a little bit of a peek at what I was working with. And I will upload the full play session as its own video separately very, very soon. So if you would like to see me diving into that a little bit more, make sure that you keep an eye out for that one. For now, though, I think that it's time we start wrapping this first little vlog up. So naturally, on the day that I had planned to wrap up filming of this vlog, we've had a bit of a tumultuous and emotional morning with school drop-off. It is the last day of school for the term, and my son has a lot of challenges at school, and yeah, some of those flared up this morning. So feeling all of the feelings today as I film this, so please bear with me. I do just want to say thank you so much for being here, for watching and supporting me, and for those of you who have reached out to share your own stories with me. It means more than I can ever really express to receive that. I do have my first design team project coming up within the next week, and that'll be shared on the Hip Kit Club YouTube channel, and I'll put a link to that down in the description box below, and I'll also be sharing it here on my channel as well. I do hope that you'll enjoy seeing what I'm creating there for the Hip Kit Club, but of course I will still be creating my own personal content and sharing that here on YouTube. And yeah, just continuing to share stuff that is reflective of my own personal creative journey, as well as trying to help sort of inspire you and give you some, hopefully some helpful tools and resources to help with your creativity and crafting as well. I would really love to hear your thoughts, what kind of things you'd like to see here on my channel. I am trying out some new forms of content and some new ways of producing content. So you're probably going to notice some changes in the future on my channel, but I really do value your feedback. So anything that you'd love to share, good or bad, anything that you'd like to see, anything that you would rather not see, I'd love to hear your thoughts so that I can take it all on board as I am considering and planning the content that I am going to be sharing here on YouTube in the future. And as I watch the world around me finally showing signs of moving into a new season, it feels like a really nice reflection of the seasonal nature of life and of creativity. The ebbs and the flows, the shifts and the growth. And I wanted to say thank you for being a part of that journey with me.